Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree? Yes. Co-creation at its best, truly. You are knowing what you are wanting. That's a good thing. You like that feeling of desire? If you do, then you must be pretty much a vibrational match to your desire. When you want something that you doubt, it doesn't feel good. Sometimes you wish you didn't want it because you can feel the tug of war within you. Wish I didn't want that. I felt better before I wanted that thing I cannot have. But it turns out there is nothing that you cannot be or do or have, provided the desire that is emanating from you and the practiced thoughts that are emanating from you, the thoughts that become beliefs if you think them enough. That's all a belief is, a practiced thought, a dominant thought, a thought you think a lot, a thought that you have thought so much that it has enough momentum that you pick it right up where you left off. It doesn't wane in between your attention to it points. That's really something worth thinking about, because you are vibrational beings. Most humans don't know that. You do. You're vibrational beings who are emanated in a signal every conscious waking moment, and the signal that you're emanating is being responded to. So when you are emanating a signal of desire, and then right behind it you are following up with but I don't think that can happen, then you're offering a signal that gets a little momentum, and then you're offering another signal that gets a little momentum. But the question that we would like to bring to your attention as we are playing together today is, which signal that you are offering, the desire one or the belief one, is dominant? Which one has the most momentum? And if you really want to know which one has the momentum, look at what's happening in your life experience, because what you think and what you get is always a match. So here's how it is. I'm going to give this to you quickly because we know that you've been listening to us for a while. You know this, but it's a good basis to get active within you before we begin here. You are not just the you that you know in your physical body. There's a larger part of you who is non-physical. Humans often refer to this part as your soul, your God force. We call it your inner being, but it's that source energy part of you who is eternal. That source energy part of you who existed before you came into this physical body. But the important thing that many humans do not realize is that not only does that non-physical part of you exist before you came into this physical body, it still exists while you are here in this physical body. And there is a relationship between you in the physical flesh, blood, and bone and that non-physical part of you all day, every day. And when you recognize that there is this relationship and that your emotions are your key to understanding what relationship you have with that non-physical part of you in any moment in time, now you've got conscious awareness of your active guidance system, and now you have the probability of really living happily ever after, of doing what you came to do, and so much that you are picking up along your physical trail as new desires. So that non-physical part of you is the source within you. Some want to call that God. We want to call it the non-physical, eternal, continuous part of you. And we also want you to realize that right here and now, while you are focused in any conversation that you're having, that non-physical part of you is flowing to you and through you. And you can tell how good the sync up is. So, for example, when you are holding someone as your object of attention and you are appreciating them, you are loving them, you're just feeling the wholeness of who you are as you are focused upon them. There's no contradiction between your focus in this moment and the focus of Source, who is always focusing with you and through you. And so the resulting emotion is that resonant feeling of well-being, that resonant feeling of love. Esther was looking at her grandson Luke the other day. She just could not explain the alignment with source that she was having at the same time as she was focused on this kid. There are not words to describe, and it would be good if you didn't try so hard to find so many, to describe what true resonance with source is. And when you're focused upon something that you don't like, well, then that resonance is clouded, and resistance is what you feel, and that's what negative emotion is every single time. So we'll talk more about that as we're moving forward here today. But it is our desire to assist you in, first and foremost, understanding the magnificence of who you are. If we can say something today that will help you to lighten up on yourself just a little bit, if you can find more unconditional love about yourself, it would be so good for you. Because when you focus in your experience and you find reasons or conditions to not appreciate yourself or anyone, someone else, for any reason, you hold yourself in a discordant vibration. And the result is you don't feel good in the moment. But another result is, in that moment of negative emotion, you are actually practicing a thought and therefore encouraging a momentum of that thought, and therefore turning that thought that started out soft and simple and unimportant, not very much of a determination in what comes to you in terms of your point of attraction, of turning that thought into something that has enough momentum that it's a full-blown belief that then becomes a central part of your point of attraction. And that's the thing that is so ironic, because you are offering this thought which becomes a belief, and then it becomes a reality for you, and then you believe it. That's the best way for you to really cement a belief in. Offer a vibration that you didn't need to offer until you cause a reality that you didn't want to cause, and now you've got an experience that you have to face. It's reality after all. And then you say, of course I believe it. I lived it. Life taught it to me. And what we want you to understand is that you are teaching life how to be to you. Life isn't being that way to you willy-nilly. You are not here just to have life descend upon you and then observe it and accept it. You are the creator of your own reality. But we love you so much, you don't act like you know it. You are so often just observing things and taking your observation as if it is something that, because it is, then it is your responsibility just to observe it and then to comment on it and then to blog about it, and let's gather some statistics about it, and please, 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 let's erect monuments about it too, so that no others ever do not accept the belief that we have created about the things that we do not want. Let's pass these beliefs on from generation to generation, because after all, we don't want these little buggers that are coming in to really believe that the world revolves around them. We don't want them to think that life is supposed to be good for them and they're supposed to live happily ever after. We need to teach them. Humans want to pass on what you know. We want you to pass on what you feel. We want you to find the vibrational core of who you are, to make sure that you're in resonance with source before you pass it on. But that's not the easiest thing, is it? Because you've got some thoughts going that have gathered some momentum, and the momentum is causing them to manifest, and the manifestations are something that not only you are noticing, but those around you are noticing too. And so it's not easy to get your eyes off the reality that already is, even though we so much want you to get your attention upon the reality that is becoming. But the is reality is so compelling, isn't it? There's so much texture to it, so much detail to it, so much momentum to it. And so we understand why it's compelling to you. But the what is not as rich as you make it out to be. You can get in the mode of being in awareness of what you are doing vibrationally without holding yourself so succinctly to the details of what is in terms of manifestation. And that's the thing that we wish, with everything that we are, to convey to you in a way that you can really hear us. Yes, there is a what is. There are conditions that surround you that have manifested into what is. There certainly is a reality that you could get together and agree in large part upon the components of what is. But what you mostly don't remember, and what we know so vividly, and what you mostly would do well to remember, and what we know so vividly, and what we wish to convey to you in a way that you will then remember it and get it active in your vibration. Yes, there is a what is that is manifested, but there also is a what is that is vibrational. And that vibrational what is, you can recognize it here and now by the way you feel, because you can feel the what isness of your relationship between your desires and your beliefs. That's what is too. In other words, when you want something and you doubt it, that doubt is what is right now. It's a what is too. When you want something but you have fear around it, that fear is an indication of a vibrational reality, a vibrational what is right now. Now, what we're going to say next, if you can hear this, then your life will begin to transform in manifested visual, see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it ways immediately. But here is the piece that you've got to get in place. First, you have to accept that this is a vibrational world, do you? And that you are a vibrational player in this world. And that you are an extension of a vibration that is active and vivid within you. And that when you are in any moment resonant with that vibration, you feel the resonance of it in the form of powerful, positive emotion. And when you get sideways of it, when your thoughts, when your beliefs have introduced resistance into this equation of your focus right now, you feel the discord. You accept all of that? So here is the piece that we so want you to understand. As you stand here in your vibrational beingness, it is that vibrational beingness that equals your point of attraction. Your point of attraction, that point where you begin the process of turning thoughts into things, of turning something that is a vibration into something that you can realize with all of your physicality. We're talking about creation here. But we want you to understand that unless you get your eye, your sensor, your attention, your focus upon this emotional center that is yours, then you're likely to continue to perpetuate unwanted momentum. You say, there are so many things I want that more money would provide for me. And then even as you're saying it, you're feeling negative emotion because you're thinking, but I don't have that money that I want or need. So you've got both of those vibrations going on. So we say, well, let us help you clean up your vibration. So we talk to you about how you can get some money. And in your mind, you argue with us, well, I've been trying and I'm not getting any. And then we convey to you that there are many people who have been where you are standing. And then you argue with us in your mind that, yeah, you know, but you don't know what their circumstances were. You know somebody that inherited something, you really don't like that guy. And you know somebody who won the lottery, he's just a freak of nature. And then you begin remembering that you didn't inherit anything, and then you wonder why your parents didn't plan better so that you could have inherited something. And then you think about your spouse who spends like a wild banshee, and there's no point in ever trying to save anything because as fast as it shows up, it's gone anyway. And so we're trying to have a conversation with you about how you can have more money, but you're off to the races on how you feel about money. It's not because you are a bad creator. It's not because you are a negative thinker. It's because you've got momentum of those thoughts. Those beliefs have a lot of momentum going, and you just can't stop a train that's going 100 miles an hour that way and make it go 100 miles an hour that way all of a sudden. You wouldn't want to. It's hard on the contents of the train. You don't want it to be like that. So what we want you to understand is that, yes, out there in the details of the life that you're living, it is close to impossible to, in any short order of time, change the vibration, change the thought, change the feeling, change the emotion. It's just not likely. But you could do what you've been talking about doing for a long time as humans. You could discover an unconditional alignment. You could find at the heart of that, the vibrational core of it. Our favorite part about this conversation is that again and again, you came away from resistance and toward alignment all day long. The thing about vibrational shift and emotional alignment is that the evidence that you think you want is a day or two out. The evidence that we want you to want is what took place already, in that feeling of clarity, in that feeling of more eagerness.